this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, so welcome to week 46 of using up scraps. And this week, basically all I did was made some Christmas ornaments, and I made it using a Starbucks cup. And yeah, just basically the cup and this little wrapper that it comes with. So what I did was I basically just cut strips of the design from the cup and formed this, and I'll show you in a little bit how I made it. But basically you can use it as either a tag or you can use it as like an ornament so it can hang. So, but here's the first one, and it's got like the fake like puffy ice or whatever, and then on the back you can have like there's a little pocket. And like I said, I just took this from here and then just created a pocket in the back. And you can put like a little candy cane or something, and it can just hang from the tree. You know, it can hang from the tree, or you can just use it as a tag, whichever one you want to use it for. And this one is very similar. It's got the little icicles. Little button and stuff, and it's pretty much the same way, same concept. Just put your little candy cane or something small. This one kind of broke a little bit because it was a little bit thicker than the size of this right here. But let me just take this out and show you. Also, I just put some stickers here and here, and let me take the candy cane out of this one as well. And this one has jingle on, or get your jingle on, and then I added a little sticker of a candy cane there. And then here's the last one, very similar, and this one, like I said, could be an ornament, and it has like the little straw coming out the, it's like a drink, like kind of like a Slurpee or a frozen type wintry drink. Even though it's cold outside, it's a wintry drink, but it's in the winter time. Should have something hot. But there's that, and then here's this one. And this poor little candy cane broke too, but still, you get the gist of it. And Merry Christmas, and this little mistletoe right here. So, like I said, all of this basically just comes from the Starbucks cup. So save your stuff when you go out to eat or whatever, and then you can make stuff out of it. So let me show you how I made it. Okay, so we're going to make some Christmas ornaments and things like that, and I've got like some Christmas cards. You know how you can get like bulk cards to give to your friends and family or whatever? Well, I made some, or not made some, but I bought some for work, and a few of my lead operators or fellow co-workers, we made some to pass out to our fellow other employees, and we had some extras left over. So these are just some of those. But I love the covers, or I love the cards, and so I'm going to use the front. I'm going to use these faces of the cards with some stuff. When we've got these, I've got these gift bags that have gorgeous prints on them. I've got, so I like the print on the cups. You know how a lot of times when you go to the restaurants and you get, they have holiday themed stuff on there. So we're just going to keep, I kept the cups and rinsed them out and let them air dry. And I'm going to use the print on some of them and cut them out. And we're going to use some of those. And the lids. I love the lids because they're already in a circle format. You can add some ribbon or string or something through there and kind of close it up. And maybe even create like a little, what do you call it? What can I think? Maybe create a shaker card or something. We're going to see what we can come up with. And I even kept the little sticks that go down in your little in your teas and coffees or whatever, your beverages. And we're going to do something with these too. And the little things that go around your cups to keep it cool, or so you don't burn yourself. We're going to use that too. So we're going to have some fun and just use what we have. And then I've got some other scraps, just, you know, leftover papers from packaging. I've got some burlap and just stuff. And I've got this, I don't know where I got this from, this clear acetate. But I'm going to use it, and hopefully I can come up with some type of a shaker card or shaker ornament or something. So to start out, I'm just going to go ahead and peel these labels off of here, off these cups. Let's see. And I'm going to, let me try to organize this first. And I also have some CD cases too. So we're just going to do all sorts of little things. We're going to make some frames, ornaments, framed ornaments, just different little things. Okay, so let me get my scissors. Okay, this appears to be glued onto this cup. I'm not sure if it is or not, or if it's the actual cup. Yeah, I think it's glued on there. So I'm going to try to carefully detach it from here. I imagine they use really good glue when they add these to their cups to make sure it sticks on there really well. Or if you didn't want to cut it off, or if you didn't want to peel it off, maybe we can try a hole in the bottom and then just kind of, or better yet, instead of doing it like that, let me get my knife. Just get you a box cutter and carefully just go around the edge. Just really carefully, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Just go around the label and cut it off. If you've got a sharp blade, it should do pretty well, pretty easily. And that came off pretty easily. And then you can just basically maybe score it going down the middle, or simply just cut it. Now this cup is pretty thick, so you got to keep in mind what tools you want to use to cut through it. And there are different things you can use your die cut. If you have a die cutting machine like Sizzix or whatever those Tim Holtz things are. So, but I don't think that, let me see. I've got some of these, I think these are from Recollections. These are Recollections. These type punches, they only cut, I think, like thin paper. But I'm going to just see. I'm just going to cut like a little small piece and see if it actually cuts. But I don't know if it will or not, because it's so thick and it's hard to fit in here. So I'm thinking that it's not going to work too well. But we're going to try it. Nope, it's not cutting. And you don't want to break this either. So now if you have another punch that can cut various materials or various layers of material at a time, that would work great. But these are made for just cardstock, I think. So I may have to use the die cut machine to cut images of these. So that's probably what I'll do with the cups. So I'm just going to go ahead and, starting at the bottom, I'm just going to cut around the edge. And like I said, just be really careful. As you do this. Okay, and then find where the line connects, the seam, and then just go ahead and cut it right there, going up the middle. You may need a bigger pair of scissors. I'm just using my embroidery scissors. But they cut pretty well, even on thick materials. And we're going to open that up. And we're going to do this one the same way. And you want to make sure when you get your cups, rinse them out really well and let them air dry. Because you don't want to work with any wet materials. Or I don't think I would recommend that. Okay, yeah, that one's still damp. I should have listened to my own advice. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of dry it a little bit. I don't want water all over the place. Okay, then I'm just going to cut up the middle. And the possibilities are endless with this because, I mean, you can make tags, you can make all kinds of things with these. And the patterns are just cute and they're free. Well, kind of free after you purchase whatever you got from the restaurant. Okay, so I'm just going to push this back down and keep it safe. Yeah, I am going to go ahead and piece one over. This card, I think I will just get some circular images. I'm just going to try to get this bird in the center. Now that cut pretty well because it, like I said, it's just cardstock. So I wonder if I can get another image out of here. Maybe a small one. Maybe a smaller circle punch or different size punch I could. And then, let's see. So we've got a circle. And I love these patterns. What I may do is just keep these in their shape and then just cut off the handles, because I'm not sure what I want to do yet with this, but we're gonna see. Same thing with this one. I'm just kind of playing it by ear, so we're just going to cut these handles off. And I'm creating along the way. I have absolutely no clue as to what type of project I'm wanting to make. Now we can use these, we can tie these on to here. So we can recycle our handles. We can put these on in here and tie a bow and then use these to hang for our ornaments or whatever. So we're going to see. So let's go ahead and get some of these cut out. If you don't have a die cutting machine, that's totally fine, because you've already got a circle here, you got a circle here, so you've already got shapes. And then you can use these as borders. You could just cut some of these out, these little circles and diamonds, cut strips of them out, and you can have yourself some borders. And that's what I think I'm going to do with this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. This is going to be a strip. And then just kind of go across. I'm going to go ahead and go across with this one too. And then we're going to cut this. We're going to have fun making all sorts of little things. All kinds of little cute paper crafts. And we're just going to hand cut out this circle. This little Starbucks circle. Because it's already in the shape that we need, so pretty easy way to access it or get what you need out of it. You don't have to have elaborate tools. So we've got her, and we're just going to cut some more of these little thingies out. So we've got that design, we've got that design. Wouldn't hurt to have a couple more of them. Now I kind of like how it's got this little green over to the side, like a shadow. The Starbucks, the white circle, is a perfect circle, but I do like this slight little green overhang. So we're just going to cut that out too. And we're just going to go ahead and continue to cut this going across. And we've got us some strips. And I like this right here too, with the shots and the decaf and all of that stuff. And I don't know if you notice this or not, but this here is shaped similar to like a little cup. So I'm just going to kind of come up, and it's shaped like a cup. So I think I'm just going to leave it shaped like that. And then we're just going to come across, set that there. I'm just going to cut all this down. It's amazing what you can do with just one cup. I'm just going to smooth this across. I'm going to leave this Starbucks one here. Okay, and all of this is just one cup. So is that not pretty cool or what? So we're going to slide this one over with some of our completed stuff. So this looks like a cup, and this one does too. So we're going to have two different shaped cups. So let me just cut that loose. Maybe cut this down just a hair. And we have another cup. And this could be like the bottom of a globe. So we're gonna cut that loose. And this could also be the bottom of a globe. So many possibilities. Okay, so we've got that there. We're just going to go ahead and slide these on over. And like I said, I have no clue what I'm going to do with all of these. I might make these into like a 2 or 3 part series. So starting with this first cup, we're just going to work with this one cup first on this video. And then on the next video, I'll show you what I use with some of my other stuff. So I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So this is what we've got so far. And keep in mind, you can decoupage, paint, you can do anything. If you don't want to keep those patterns, you can do all sorts of things with it. So we're going to find some white scrap paper, some cardstock preferably. Okay, so I've got some white cardstock. What I'm going to do with this, so this is a cup, and let's just go ahead and measure this. This is roughly 1 3/4 inches wide. So, basically the size of this bottle, or the bottom of this bottle, is approximately the size or the width that I need. So I'm just going to get an ink pen or a pencil, and I'm just going to trace around it. If I can trace, I'm not real good at tracing. Alright. We can turn this around, so I'm going to cut this out as best we can. I think I've got the right. Hold on. Yeah. So we're going to turn this around like this, and this is going to go over here. So I'm just going to glue this to the inner part of this. But before I do that, I'm going to distress it with some blue Distress Oxide ink. Because we want to have fun with it and we want to add some color. I'm going to have to get me another little dauber doohickey. This thing's falling apart, seems like. So we're just going to set this over here. Put the lid back on there. And we're just going to glue this on here. If I can get my glue to come out. Okay. Oh, I put it on the wrong side. I need to have the glue on this side, some of it. And we're just going to line this up and put this over top of it, like so. Just going to wipe that glue off. Oh goodness. Alright, now we're just going to let that dry a little bit. So it kind of looks like a cup, but then it could also be like a shaped like a cone. So we're going to still work with it. So we've got that one. This one, I think we're going to let it become, let's see how wide this is. This is 2.5 inches, which is perfect because I do have a 2.5 inch punch. So, but if I didn't, I could find something that was approximately 2.5 inches wide and then trace around it and cut it the same way I just did that. So we're going to get a piece of white paper and we're going to do our 2.5 inch punch. And we're going to also take the little dauber and go around the edge with some blue. And we're going to do this similar to how we did that one. I'm just going to wipe the glue off. Now we're going to let that dry. So we've got 2 of these so far. And we may as well just go ahead and, this is 2.5. Go ahead and get another one. Do this the same way. So we've got these 3 right here. Okay, so we're going to need something to cover this back because these are going to be little ornaments. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to glue these on, each one of them. And you can use art glitter glue, you can use paste, just whatever glue you like to use and feel comfortable using. And then we're going to do some decoupaging in a little bit. I'm going to decoupage some of this on here. And I think I've also got some, what do you call it? Sewing, what do you call that? Fabric stitch paper. Sewing paper, whatever it's called. Because we want to have contrasting colors. So we're just going to go ahead and put this on here, and then we're going to decorate the back, and we're going to paint the front. Okay, so then we're going to cut these out. Because we want these to be pretty thick. Not like super duper thick, but thick enough to where it's not going to bend when it hangs from the tree or wherever. You can use it as a tag, or you could use it as a ornament, however you want to use it. It's going to have multiple functions. Okay, so now slide this over for a moment. I'm going to turn these over, and we're going to get some Mod Podge and a brush, and we're going to Mod Podge on some of this as well as, let's see, I just want to show you guys, I got this pack for 50 cents. Like, I got all this in here. I just wanted to show you. So, technically, I guess this is like a scrap. So, yeah, we're just going to use some of this pattern paper because I love the browns and things that are on here. So we're just going to cut some or tear some just so it has like words and some of that pattern on there. Okay. And let me get my brush. I'm using some homemade Mod Podge. Equal parts glue and water. So we're just gonna paint on the Mod Podge to the entire back piece of this. And we're gonna create us a collage. Okay, so now we're just going to trim this paper from around it. I really like that vintage kind of theme or vibe that this gives. So, but we're going to come back through and we're going to do some gessoing in a little bit, because we're just going to kind of antique this, the front and the back, and we're just going to dry brush on some gesso in just a moment after we finish trimming this excess paper. But you want to make absolutely certain that it's completely dry before you trim it. And if you have any bits and pieces that still stick up like that, you can always just add some regular glue to make it stick. Because you do want to make sure that it's on there correctly. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some white gesso and I'm just going to lightly brush over some paint. Oops. And what it's going to do is it's just going to kind of bleed through. And I'm going to let this dry. You probably say, well, why did you even put that on there if you're just going to cover it up with gesso? It's just a really thin layer, so it's not going to, the print is still going to bleed back through, which is what I'm wanting. So it's going to be fine. So we're going to let that dry. And then we're just going to dry brush just a little bit on the front after this gets done. Okay, so now that that's dry, we're just going to kind of go around the edges. And we're just going to kind of just dry brush a little bit, going up and down. I'm just going to distress these with some brown Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. Just kind of go around the edges. Then I'm going to kind of go around this edge too as well, just to kind of give it shadow. And then just toss in just a little bit of color, just to give it that vintage look, you know. Then I'm going to come back around. I'm going to also distress the back. I'm just going to kind of color the upper part of this in. And do the same to all three of these. Okay, so I'm just going to take a piece of this and I like how it's got this cardboard right here. So I'm just going to measure, let's see, I'm going to cut straight across. And it's going to be enough to fit like in the center of each one of these. I think I'll have this going vertical. Okay. So we've got those. I'm just going to go around the edges of this cardboard, this corrugated board, with some blue. And we're still going to give it some bling, but I'm gonna do it in a different form. So I'm gonna go around the edges of this. I'm gonna add glitter because I feel like that's the only way I can get bling on here. Or I can use these stickles. I think I'll use stickles. I'm just gonna go around the edge with these stickles. These are diamond stickles. And I'm just gonna go around the edge. Of each one of these. And although these do have shine to them, I'm going to add some blue glitter just to make it really stand out. And I'm going to use some of this Recollections Frost glitter. I'm just going to sprinkle it on. Okay, so these are dry, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue them on. And you can use dimensionals, but I'm just going to use some art glitter glue and glue it down flat. I'm just going to place it in the center. And you may need to get something kind of heavy to keep it smashed down so it'll stay in place and hold, so that the glue will hold pretty well. This one going vertical, and I'm gonna just put something heavy on top of it, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Set this in the center. And then I'm just going to take this little scallop punch. It's like a 1-inch, yeah, roughly a 1-inch scallop. I think that's what that is. Yeah, 1-inch scallop punch. And I'm just going to punch out 3 of these pieces of white paper. And those are basically going to go over top of this. Now I think I will use some dimensionals with that. And basically just glue it on. I'm just going to use a little bit of this art glitter glue because it's a little bit stronger than the dimensional glue, because I want to make sure it's going to stay. So I'm just going to place this here. I'm just going to add this to all 3 of these. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and add a button to the middle. And I'm just going to place some glue in the center and then just put the button on top. Make sure it's turned correctly in the center. I'm just going to let that air dry. Do the same thing with this one. So this is what we have so far. Now I want to take it to another level, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue just to kind of make these tops look kind of like snow cones, even though originally these were supposed to start off as like coffee and then snow globes, and then now I'm just going to settle on like slushy looking embellishments, because to me that's what they kind of look like. They started out as one project and now they're starting to look like a different one. So we're just going to roll with it and go with the flow. So we're just going to get our distress mixer or blender tool. And we're just going to add this one here. Get a little bit of blue. And I'm just going to shade in this entire circle blue, because I think it'll just look better if it's blue. And the way this is bent, it left like a little line, but that's fine, because I'm probably going to add some glossy accents or something. And then I may do like blue and green on one, or I might just stick with just blue on all 3 of them. Yeah, I think I will stick with blue. Okay, so now that we've got that, now I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think I'm going to add some sequins and then I'm going to add maybe some glossy accents and some Nuvo drops. I don't know for sure how it's going to look. I'm just going to test it on one and see how it turns out. so I'm just going to add just a tad of Glossy accents. And then I'm going to put it over top of the sequins. And we're just going to let that kind of dry overnight. And while that's drying, I'm just going to add icicles or something to make this look like it's got icicles coming around the bottom or around the edge of the dome. These Nuvo drops are awesome. I'm just going to try to make this a little bit more pronounced. So here's that one. We're going to let that dry. And we're going to do this one the same way. Just going to kind of go around the edge. And then we're just going to add some icicles. Or some frost, I guess that's what you could call it. And I may as well just sprinkle in a little bit of glitter. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of the Frost in the Snow glitter by Recollections, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over these just to so they can kind of have a shine to them. And I'm basically just going to let it dry, and then I'll take the remaining glitter off of it. Because I'm afraid if I lift it up and flick it out, the glitter's going to go all the Nuvo drops won't do right, and it won't settle correctly. So I'm just going to set this over to the side somewhere where it's not going to get messed up. Okay, so now I'm just going to take just a dab of this acrylic gesso and just kind of go around this right here, like where I made the icicle or the frost or whatever. We're just kind of highlighting it a little bit, just making it stand out a little more. I mean, I still want some of the blue to show, but we're just going to make this kind of pop a little bit. See how it looks more like frosting. I'm just going to add just a little bit on here. Just a few dabs of white to make this look frosted as well. And I'm just going to dab around the edges of this. Okay, so now I'm just going to make like a tag out of it. It's going to be kind of like a tag, but so I'm just going to, let me set this to about right here. And then I'm just going to add an eyelet. And then I'm just going to add some ribbon. I'm going to add some of this brown ribbon. And I'm just going to make like a makeshift straw. And it's just simply going to be out of white cardstock. And it's going to be approximately 1/4 of an inch long. And I'm just going to simply see how far up I need to go with it. This one's going to come out of here. This one's going to come out of here. And this one's going to come out of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little hole, a slit in each one of these, and I'm going to slide the straw down in there, approximately right here in the middle. And I'm just going to distress, I think I'll distress this with green just to make the straw look a little bit different and stand out against the blue. And it's going to go down in here like so. Let me make sure you can see the slit all the way through. So this is going to go down in there. Just stick that down. And kind of have it going at like an angle, you know. And then I'm just going to glue it down in the back. And I'm going to cover this in the back up. I'm going to have to add like something, maybe a journaling space or a pocket or something to where you can maybe add like a candy cane or something. I'm just going to dry this glue off. And I'm just going to add, like I said, I'm just going to add just something, a little pocket. So I'm just going to take a little piece of this and bend it over. And then bend this down, and this is where I'm going to cut it at. I'm just take a little bit off the side, and then I'm just going to place this in the center, and I'm going to take some green and go over it around the edge. And I should have also took some green around this edge as well of the straw, the front and back. That way you can kind of see that that is a straw. And we're just going to glue this on. Just to cover up where we put the straw at. So this gives you room for like writing to and from. And then I'm just going to add a pocket on here in case you want to put like a candy cane or something. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take a portion of this off, and it's going to become a little pocket. And I'm just going to rub some black around the edges. Or should I do green? I think I'm gonna try to see what green looks like. Yeah, we'll do green. And then we're just going to glue around the edges and form a pocket. And then you can put like a candy cane or something in here. So we're just going to let that dry. And I'm going to do these two the same way. Okay, so this is basically it. So you've got your little like frost or whatever, and little button, your straw. And this could be a tag. Or you could just tie this up here and then turn it into an ornament. And you can put like a candy cane or something in here, you know, because it's like a little small pocket. And all of these come from a little Starbucks container. Just one cup, one Starbucks cup is what all this comes from. And they each have a little thing here. I might add something here. I think I will, like a little star or something. Just a little sticker. Yeah, I'm just going to use this little sticker pack from Stickabilities. And I'm just going to add like a little sentiment on each one of these because it needs something. So, like, get your jingle on. Okay. So now that pretty much completes it. So, have a little sentiment on the back, a little candy cane, a present, bah humbug. You know, this could be a tag or an ornament. And they can hang like so. You get you a candy cane or something to put in it as it hangs and dangles. You know. And that's pretty much it. So if you liked this video and you liked what I did with that, please leave a comment and just leave a comment. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos and my blog and social media sites. And as always, I thank you guys so much for watching.